Wednesday, September 20th, and, all through the house here on Thursday Night Football Eve. We're hanging stockings by the chimney with care. I'm ready to go. We got Thursday Night Football for the 49ers and New York Giants coming up tomorrow night, which means we're going to start getting you ready for that game right here today. I can tell you that our good friend Larry Krueger is going to be joining me this time tomorrow right here on the Plus, and we're going to be doing a little pregame. We're going to be reminding you that we're both doing a level of postgame shows, and then Friday, 8 a.m., we're going to be right at it first thing in the morning with 49ers Wake Up. Welcome. It is great to see you here. It really is. We got an awful lot to get into in a short amount of time because Daddy's got himself a dentist appointment today. Just a normal cleaning, nothing out of the ordinary, no root canal or cavity or anything like that. By the way, I'm a 48-year-old man who's never had a cavity. There's not a lot to brag about in my life, but that's up there. That's definitely up there. That deserves a... Yeah, no cavities. 48-year-old man. Feel good about it. We got quite a bit to get to, and we're not going to try to get arrogant here, but look, how to beat the New York Giants in 3 simple steps, because I really do think in a sport where nothing is ever as easy as it is talking about it, this could actually drift into the lane of easy operations for the San Francisco 49ers, because the first rule in making sure you don't lose to the New York Giants is simply make sure Saquon Barkley doesn't go all fantasy football, gaudy number statistically afternoon all over you. And you know what? I can guarantee you that's not going to happen because Saquon Barkley's not playing. So the single most important component to beating the New York Giants has been tailored right into to this game and the way it sets up. So after taking care of Saquon Barkley, and that box has been checked by the injury bug, you then don't let Daniel Jones throw for 321 yards, 2 scores, while rushing for another 60 and a touchdown. And that's what happened in Arizona last week. And I just don't see Daniel Jones doing that against the 49ers. As good as this defense is, as tuned in as they are to certain game plans, I just don't think that Daniel Jones is going to be well-equipped without his best weapon in Saquon to come in here and just have a rousing game. As a matter of fact, the first rousing game that Daniel Jones has will be his first of the year because he had a really good half against Arizona, more than he had a rousing game against Arizona. Remember, this was a New York Giants season that began with 6 quarters of you've been shut out football. So the other thing that I think the 49ers are equipped to do with Fred Warner, their safety play, with Dre Greenlaw, is simply don't let Darren Waller be the best tight end on the field at Levi's on Thursday night. Don't let that happen. And if Darren Waller isn't out there smacking you around and Saquon Barkley's not available, I'm just not that worried about Daniel Jones, even though a mobile quarterback has been something that has always frustrated the 49ers. We also saw a different version of that last week where a very stationary quarterback just got the ball out so quick. Maybe Daniel Jones thinking he can make a little something happen with his feet will work into the San Francisco Giants defense's advantage because it'll give him a few more heartbeats to maybe get to him because Sam Bradford had a marching order, and that was to get that ball out by 2 Mississippi. And it was a really good marching order. I just don't think that the Giants have the skill players to really let that happen. I've never been a big believer in momentum in between games. But one of these teams, right now, as we're looking at them, looks like a fully functioning and operational Death Star, while the other team is basically riding a tauntaun looking for Luke Skywalker. So I like the San Francisco Giants on Thursday night. Vegas does by offering what is a 10-point spread right now. And look, normally 10 is a number where I say, look, if you're going to lay it, I'm going to play it. Like, I'll take 10 points in any professional football team. But I don't think in this scenario I really like that position. It's a short week. The Giants might have got a second half together against the Arizona Cardinals. That doesn't mean you're about ready to step up to the plate that is the San Francisco 49ers right now. And I like the 49ers in this game an awful lot. Like my thumbnail suggested, Lawrence Taylor ain't coming to town. Bill Parcells is not going to be calling the plays. Justin Thibodeau is pretty good, and I think that, Kayvon Thibodeau. Justin Thibodeau. I'm thinking of like a Canadian prime minister there or something. Anyways, Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Daboll are not Lawrence Taylor and Bill Parcells, and we'll get back to that in just a second here. But it's great to have you here today. Thank you very much for joining us on the Plus. Thank you for downloading the podcast, and thank you for sticking around for the little party that we're throwing after each show over on the AMP app with Big Blue coming to town. Today's set list will be based around bluesy rock songs. I got a bunch of bluesy rock songs that I like today. I think it's going to set a tone for a good Wednesday, hump day, or as it's known in the Plus chat, it's Humo Day. It's amazing what one single typographical error will do to change the lexicon of an entire chat room. Somebody typed hump day once, but they typed Humo, and it is referred to as Humo Day amongst Plusers. I can't explain these people sometimes. They're just here hanging out. But God, it's great to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't clicked subscribe, do so. More and more people are doing that. Since football has started, hit the follow button over on the AMP app. I know I'm asking you to touch a lot of buttons, but it means a lot to the business that we're doing and the way the world is working. And we'll have another example of that in our final story of the day today. But first, let me thank our good sponsors. We'll begin with my pal Ike, who has been serving delicious sandwiches for well over a decade on the West Coast. You know about Ike by now. You've heard me talking about him. You've probably gone out and tried a sandwich yourself. And if you haven't, get with the frickin' program, would you? They are delicious sandwiches. Absolutely delicious sandwiches. A little something for everyone's flavors out there, no matter what you want, whether it be a big old fat boy sandwich, or you want to go ahead and vegan this thing all the way. You can vegan up a sandwich. I can do that for you too. This is someone who is serving all masters. And that's hard to do in the restaurant business. But man, my man Ike has a great product for you, and you know it. And if you don't know it, you will know it when you try it. Download the Ike's app today. Join the rewards program. You'll be very happy that you did. Thanks to our brothers and sisters at Black & Whiskey. We love you very, very much. We love drinking with you. We love hanging out with you. Black & Whiskey, oh so good. To the D. Bruce, G. Bruce, Jillian Bruce Liquor Cabinet. We have been a very happy Blackened family since we have found Blackened, and you will always find Blackened on our liquor store, on our liquor shelf. And if you're not finding it at your liquor store, you will find it at Bevmo, but maybe you shop somewhere else. Ask them to pick up a case of Blackened, and you will go ahead and be very interested in it as a good and loyal Pluser. We have our good friend Stefan, my good friend Stefan, who has just been on fire with his picks. And, I know that every single tout service in the world wants to tell you, yeah, they're on fire with his picks. Dude, he has been on fire with his picks, like for real. Not kidding, not selling you something that isn't there. I'm never going to lie to you. If my boy has a cold week, I'm going to tell you, well, it wasn't the best week, but my man knows trends and you should get back on while he gets hot again. Dude, he's on a heater right now. If you had been betting with Stefan since his first NFL bet of the year, you are up. Go ahead and find out for yourself. Bottomlinebets.com. You got daily, weekly, monthly subscriptions available. So when you want to go to the cage and cash a winner, you can find it at bottomlinebets.com. Damon, where exactly can I make that bet? Again, this is a full-service show. Folks, go to mybookie.ag for all of the plays, the props, the teasers, the parlays that you could possibly want around an NFL schedule. Mybookie.ag, and use promo code Damon when you sign up. DAMON. That will get you a 50% deposit match up to $1,000, a $10 casino chip to use on what is a full casino floor. If you can think of it, if you can think of a casino has that game, they got it at mybookie.ag as well. Damon, how do they do that? Well, they're offshore, which means when you do sign up with the promo code Damon, you need to have a credit card that is approved for international transactions. It'll smooth out the process. And there you go. You are on your way to having a good time Get a little something going on the side of these games. It certainly makes them more fun, more interesting. Get the advice you need at bottomlinebets.com and put it into play over at mybookie.ag. Sip a little blackened and eat an Ike sandwich. Every Friday, pick yourself up a burger from Uncle Boy's, and you are going to be supporting me as much as humanly possible. And I thank you so much for all the support you've given us here since switching over to the digital age, baby. That's where we are. And if you're not in the digital age right now, you're going to be in trouble. That was proven today with a business transaction in New York City, of all places, that I'll tell you about at the end. But let's get back to the Giants. While we're talking about New York City, let's get back to the Giants. I think we got a sip of the day. What's that coming at? 11:15, sip of the day. I'm not even looking at your sip of the day over-unders. I'm just telling you when it happens. So 11:15 is your sip of the day. Good luck to all of you. All bets are action. As I was saying, Lawrence Taylor and Bill Parcells ain't walking through that door. Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Dable, again, good, not great. The 49ers in this game against the Giants Thursday at Levi's Stadium have a clear talent advantage. They are better than the Giants on both sides of the ball. I think they're better than the Giants on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They are a better coach team. They're going to be at home for the first time. They're going to have a wildly excited to greet them 2-0. Isn't everyone feeling happy? It looked like everybody at Levi's Stadium might have bought a ticket to Steelers games and Rams games because the 49ers fans have traveled very, very well, and now they get to travel back home to greet this team, which is off to a tremendous start for Kyle Shanahan. The New York Giants, again, they open their season with 6 scoreless quarters of football. 4 of those against the Cowboys. Cowboys look legit. The Arizona Cardinals aren't even trying to win football games. They don't want to win football games. They shut out the New York Giants in a half of football before really letting go of the rope. Giants finished 9-7-1 last year. They weren't world beaters, but they qualified for the postseason. Then they go into Minnesota and they win a wild card game. A lot of people didn't expect them to win. So that left everyone buzzing, even though they got clocked by Philadelphia. Getting clocked by Philadelphia is something that the 49ers can tell you all about in the playoffs last year. It was a year of buzz coming in for the New York Giants, and then the Dallas Cowboys put their cigarette right out in the middle of the New York Giants' forehead. The Arizona Cardinals, it was a win, but it was a costly win because it cost them at least 3 to 4 weeks of Saquon Barkley, which again just makes taking advantage of the New York Giants so much easier. You know, Saquon Barkley is a true, honest-to-goodness game changer. No Saquon Barkley means that there are less things to worry about. With all due respect to Matt Breida, Matt Breida's got 3 carries for 14 yards this year. You know, is he good? Sure, he's good. Is he fast? Sure, he's fast. But you get to start keying on Matt Breida instead of Saquon Barkley. Every single defensive coordinator, including Steve Wilkes, would vote yes on that, 15 times a week. And I mean, it's no choice at all. So who are the threats? Like, what could end up burning the 49ers? Well, there is a rookie wide receiver named Jalen Hyatt. He might be the most explosive player on the field, which in some ways makes him a dangerous player on the field because without a number of explosive plays, I don't think the New York Giants have a puncher's chance in this game. Quinn Slavin, who covers the New York Giants, says that of rookie Jalen Hyatt, of his 12 routes, 11 have been vertical, giving the rookie a chance to show off his speed, test man coverage, and open opportunities for underneath routes. He began the Giants' second drive in Arizona with a big play. He had 2 really big explosive plays, and it got the Giants back into that game. Without this guy having multiple explosive plays, again, I don't know how they really move the ball around, and without him taking the lid off the top, I don't know if underneath will be as open. Again, even if underneath is open, it's not like Saquon Barkley is running those short crossing intermediate routes. It's not the same Giants team that's coming in. Obviously, there's talent there. There's NFL talent for sure. We know that. But man, you take care of what you need to take care of. You take care of Darren Waller. Make sure he doesn't have a Mark Bavaro game on you. Old reference for you old timers out there. And, the Giants are in trouble. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. And I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to cover this through the prism of only the 49ers can't do anything wrong. They're an unbeatable, immovable force. I just really, really like them in this matchup because I really don't like the New York Giants in this matchup. Again, you're telling me, what do I got to be afraid of? You got to be afraid of a rookie named Jalen Hyatt. Okay. Safety Xavier McKinney. Look, he's a real player. He leads the team in pass breakups right now. Dexter Lawrence and Micah McFadden. They're good players. One is a really good defensive tackle. McFadden, obviously, a linebacker. These guys are difference makers. You're telling me you just got to deal with a couple of good tacklers, not a lot of targets, and the two-headed monster of Matt Breida and Gary Brightwell? Again, I like the Niners in this game. The Giants had to score 17 unanswered fourth quarter points to beat Arizona. Now, another way to look at that is, hey, the Giants are rolling in here off their biggest comeback win in 74 years. I mean, that's a glass half full way to look at that. Another way to look at it is, oh my God, you guys played yourself into a corner against the Arizona Cardinals. What is wrong with you? And when things got right, it was because Saquon Barkley was making huge plays and he is hurt. Again, I like the 49ers position. I like their position according to Las Vegas. Normally, again, you're giving me 10 points. I'll feel good about laying it and playing it, but I just feel that the Barkley injury, the short week, the fact that the Giants have spent the entire week out on the road in Arizona waiting to fly to San Francisco on the short week, it just feels like the New York Giants are in a really bad spot here. And it's not even that the 49ers are necessarily in a great spot, but as we said yesterday, they're in a phenomenal spot. They're 2-0 with one divisional win. They haven't played a home game, and beyond concerns of Brandon Ayuk being sore, not feeling good, I think Ayuk plays on Thursday. I'd be surprised if he didn't. The 49ers are basically uninjured. So it's a really good start for Kyle Shanahan and company. There's no doubt about that. So there's all the Giants 49ers preview that I think you need today. Again, my pal Larry Krueger will be joining me live at 11 here on the Damon Bruce Show on the Plus. I will be doing post-game for you, brought to you by Bottom Line Bets, as soon as the 2-minute warning gets underway. So tomorrow, I'll see you at the 2-minute warning. We will do a big old post-game show, and then the day after, 8 a.m., it's 49ers Wake Up, Damon Bruce, Larry Krueger. It is a simulcast, baby. And if you're a plusser, be watching over here, not on Larry's page. He's got all the views he needs. We're trying to build things up over here. But again, a view over there, a view over here, we really don't matter. We put it together, and what Larry and I have is something special, and it's something that other radio entities need to be incredibly concerned about, and we'll have even more proof of that in a little bit. But right now, I want to get to a little segment, not about the New York Giants. This is about the San Francisco Giants. Kids, it's time to burn it all. It officially is. They lose a laugher of a game in Arizona. Again, they need these two big wins in Arizona. They show up playing Little League baseball, kicking the ball all around the field. Last night, they lose in Arizona. Nothing really surprising about that, given the ebbs and flows of the entire season. What is surprising, though, is the story that I saw yesterday in Sports Illustrated, written by Tom Verducci, who just wrote a scathing review of how the Giants go about their business. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tom Verducci is not in the scathing review business. He's not a coming after you, coming to get you type of journalist, right? It's not what he does. But I got to read some of this to you. Again, these aren't my words. This isn't me taking out the Giants. This is Tom Verducci doing it. So listen to this. This is something else. With poor offense and middling pitching, the Giants are in the thick of the National League wildcard race. But if this is the future of baseball, I want no part of it. The Giants are interesting in the way mutual funds are interesting. They're smart, efficient, but lackluster. San Francisco and its manager, Gabe Kapler, deserve credit for squeezing every bit out of this roster with help of the best record in baseball's extra innings, where the Giants are 11-3. But that's when the rules are very much gerrymandered. So no, this team is not a juggernaut in any way, shape, or form. Tom Verducci goes on to write, my problem with the Giants, especially if they cap this season with a playoff berth, is how other teams might copy their gig economy approach to baseball. It's not fan-friendly. Truncated starts by pitchers, an ever-changing lineup with role players and no stars, a 16-person coaching staff, the worst team speed of any contender. The Giants are a well-managed success more than they are an aesthetic one. Let me translate what Tom Verducci has said so far. These guys got no reason for you to buy a ticket to come watch them play baseball because their baseball is boring and they are starless. Do they win some games? Yeah, they do. But will you have fun? Not really. This is scathing from Verducci. He goes on. Giant starters throw an average of just 72 pitches per game, the shortest leash in baseball. They've thrown 3 innings or less 43 times, 13 more than any other team. It's also the most such abbreviated starts in baseball history, other than in 2018 and 19 when the Rays were inventing the concept of the opener. With all those truncated starts, Giant starters are deployed to avoid losing a game, not to win it. They're 27-45. As a starting, they're 27-45, which is a .375 winning percentage, an unfathomable rotation record for a team in contention in the last 2 weeks of a season. The worst rotation winning percentage by a playoff team is .464, and that was the 05 Padres. Again, .375 is the Giants' rotation. Except for the 60-game season in 2020, Giants starters this year will likely set a 141-year franchise low for wins. They have turned baseball upside down. San Francisco's offense uses a similar gig methodology, splitting the work among many. You can do this when you don't have a star player. Kapler has never used the same lineup more than 4 times. He's used 13 players in the number 3 hole, including a different one every game in a 4-game series over this past weekend in Colorado. For the 5th time in the past 7 seasons, the Giants will not have a player with 80 or more RBI. I mean, that's dreadful. Again, Verducci has not put his knives away. He keeps going. It's not entertaining. San Francisco ranks 15th in walks, 19th in home runs, 25th in strikeouts, 21st in runs scored per game, and 30th in stolen bases. Only the Yankees and White Sox have a lower average sprint speed than the Giants. What do they do well? Matchup baseball. No team has sent more pinch hitters to the plate than the Giants. They're 7th best in baseball at winning the platoon advantage on offense and 4th best at winning it on defense. Sorry, but that's not exactly something the ad department can work with when it comes to selling tickets, writes Tom Verducci. The new rules have made baseball a faster, more athletic, more risk-taking game this year, and with their lack of speed and star power, the Giants have completely missed that train. They also missed the attendance boost that accompanies that excitement, and this is where the Giants' biggest problem really lies. Are you ready? The Giants are one of only 5 teams not to get an attendance increase this year. Only the Nationals and White Sox, both non-contenders all year, have seen a bigger drop. The Giants have lost 26% of their paying customers since 2016. Wow. I mean, talk about ownership, even endorsing what Farhan and Kapler are doing because they're just following ownership's marching orders. When you see an attendance drop like that since 2016, that's got to have your full attention as ownership. Is it all Farhan's fault? No, it isn't, because he got the job in 2018. Beyond the 107-win season, though, it's all been so boring that, again, you've chased away essentially 1 in 4 fans. 26% of paying customers drop off. That's a little bit more than 1 in 4 fans have basically said, I'm not coming anymore. I'm not spending my time watching this. I'm certainly not spending my money on this. There's no player for my kid to even be excited about. This is boring. I can't identify with anyone. A team that's supposed to be like pitching forward that offered up Mad Bum, Kane, Lincecum in its greatest heyday, is now offering up very, very little in terms of, oh, hey, they're actually going to let Sean Manaea start a game, everybody. Whoa! What a walk-up crowd that's going to be. Good Lord. It's time to burn it down. Gabe Kapler, Farhan, nice enough guys. Are they terrible at their jobs? No. But they're not good enough for this. And if this is now the definition of good enough for the Giants, that's a major problem. And if Charles Johnson, the owner of the Giants, the Johnson family, if what they're watching is good enough for them, well, then you might also be the same family dumb enough to give about $500,000 to Herschel Walker's failed senatorial campaign. Oh, that's right. That's who these fucking assholes are. Spending more money on Herschel Walker than the 3-hole in their own major league lineup. Scathing from Tom Verducci, basically saying, hey, even though there is a little market efficiency in how they go about, putting wins together, they're so titanically boring. It's like rooting for a math equation. It's not even Moneyball fun. This is mutual interest Moneyball fun. That's just brutal. That's just brutal again. What did he say? I got to read this again. I got to get this again. The Giants are interesting in the way mutual funds are interesting. Not mutual interest, mutual funds. The Giants are interesting in the way mutual funds are interesting. Oh my God, fire everybody involved. And look, their lack of athleticism, their lack of team speed, to be caught with your pants down in that department is a total miscalculation of the landscape. And isn't that what Farhan's supposed to be great at? Knowing his way around market inefficiencies and whatnot. I saw from Jeff Passan. He wrote this. He said, the best invention so far this year in baseball has been this pitch clock. The pitch clock, writes Passan, has saved 24 minutes off the average game time. Over the course of a 162-game season, that's a total of 64 hours and 48 minutes. And if you're a hardcore baseball fan who watches every minute of every game every season, the clock and the clock alone freed you to more than 2.5 days spent watching grown men standing around doing nothing. That's really something else when you think about it. So that pitch clock, yeah, it takes 24 minutes off the average game time. But if you really are watching every single game, every inning, what that pitch clock has bought you is 2.5 days of your life back. 2.5 days of your life back. It's difficult to imagine the sport giving its most loyal devotees a greater gift, writes Jeff Passan. So, watching the Giants last night was just awful. Just awful. I can't watch them anymore. I mean, I will, but I'm not enjoying it. Neither are you. And neither is Tom Verducci, who just basically gets paid by Sports Illustrated to pretend he loves everything. I want to wrap up today. I don't know. Is this real? Mike Fuss says, Damon just says Sam Bradford in the San Francisco Giants. Did I say Sam Bradford again? God Lord. I can't. I'm stuck in St. Louis Rams lore, I guess. I'm so sorry. I still haven't even computed the fact that they moved back to Los Angeles. My bad. San Francisco Giants, New York Giants, lots of Giants complaining about the Giants. Tom Verducci complaining about the Giants, New York Giants, San Francisco Giants, Sam Bradford. Thanks for sticking along with me. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, your host has had a stroke. Some details will be missed, but we'll get most of it right. And believe me, we'll do it in an entertaining enough fashion to where you're willing to look past my verbal typographical errors. No, I can already see the chat moving. The chat is moving. Kathy Tran smashing that like button. Thank you very, very much. Mike was saying he's going to say San Francisco Giants a lot today. Did I say him a lot? Did I get through it? I hope I got through it okay. Look at it this way. I'm making fewer errors than the San Francisco Giants. Final story of today's show. And this is one of those here's a canary in the coal mine for an industry that I used to be in. It's really good to be here with you now. It really is. It's great to be on YouTube. It's great to be on the AMP app. It's great to have a podcast because if there's one thing that's being proven over and over again is folks ain't listening to radio the way they used to. That's something that Larry Krueger and I are proving with every 49ers wake-up show when we're getting more viewers than 95.7 The Game and KNBR combined in some quarter hours. So you got Larry and I from our dens with the internet beating multi-million-dollar radio stations that have been doing it for 50 years in KNBR's case. In Larry and I's case, we've been doing the 49ers Wake Up for 2 shows. In 2 shows from our basement, we have more viewers than KNBR at any point in time. In 2 shows from our basement, we are either nipping at the heels or beating 95.7 The Game. And it's so dramatic in some instances that you can put those stations' viewership numbers together, and Larry and I are winning. Well, look what's happening in New York City, of all places. Again, the number one market where they're selling a level of sports sponsorships to a city that is more addicted to sports economy than the city of San Francisco is. In less than a year, I saw this from Barrett Sports Media. In less than a year, ESPN Radio will be leaving the FM dial in New York City. Good Karma Brands has announced that it will abandon the 98.7 FM signal at the end of August and focus its operations on an AM signal and its digital channels. We're committed to serving the New York sports fan. And with the combination of our AM signal, ESPN New York app, podcasts, and smart speakers, yes, and other additional audio and video distribution, investing in an FM signal was not relevant in the way it was a decade ago, according to Good Karma Brand CEO and founder Craig Karmazin. That's what he told Andrew Marchant of the New York Post. So the FM signal, and that's an ESPN radio station, an FM signal is leased to the radio station by MS Communications. The deal, which was made more than a decade ago, currently sees ESPN New York pay around $12.5 million per year to just use the signal. So before you paid a single broadcaster or a single producer or a program director or a promotions person or a salesperson or any level of operations that involve even turning the lights on, you are down $12.5 million just to put your product on a signal that basically they're getting the data back. No one's listening. No one is getting in their car and listening to the radio anymore. It's not happening. So it's $12.5 million per year for use of the signal, a fee that has been raised 3.5% annually since April of 2012. And Emmis, to just sell them that outright, like, here, the signal is yours now, they want $50 million for the signal. For Karmazin, it's an easy decision. He says Good Karma Brands data shows that more than half of ESPN New York's audience is not listening on terrestrial radio. So a radio station that, by the way, gets crushed in the ratings by WFAN, but the ESPN radio station, so this is the Michael Kay show and whatever else they're running as far as their local branding goes, half the people listening aren't even listening on the radio. They're listening on YouTube or on some digital thumbprint somewhere. Like, if that doesn't show you the entire way it's going, how much longer is KNBR going to afford to have an FM signal? How much longer is 95.7 The Game going to be able to afford an FM signal? Let me tell you this. I don't know what they're paying for their signals. Here's what Larry and I paid to kick their ass. Each of us has a MacBook Pro. So that's about $4,000 each. Each of us has an internet connection. What's that, like $100 a month? So spending less than $5,000 with all the actual talent that comes with the broadcaster, doesn't stay in the studio when the broadcaster leaves, but with about $4,500 and talent, we're kicking major traditional radio stations' asses from our basement. And there's no going back, folks. Who would buy a radio station today? Like the same person who would buy the beans for Jack and the Beanstalk. Buying a radio station today, you'd have to be a fucking moron. That's delicious. So how about all that? Oh, I want to catch this before it goes by. Fish and chips with a $2. Hey, how are you? Now listening, DB. Thank you very much, DB. Thank you very much. Fish and chips. And thanks for converting that to actual, or no, are those Great Britain pounds? Is that pounds? I don't even know. But either way, thank you very much, Fish and Chips. It's always great to see you. Glad I saw that. That almost went by me before I saw it. What have we got? What have we got? Man, there's a lot. Dude, the text line is flying today. De Kaiser and Gilroy says the New York Giants are going to make a game of it, but they're not winning. Again, what's your version of making a game of it? Because I like the 49ers to cover the 10. I do. And that's a lot of points in an NFL game. That's a lot of points. But I like the Niners to cover it. So we'll have more on that, I guess, with Larry tomorrow as we continue our straight-up two-man takeover of this entire market. But how about that? Again, a city that is 1,000 times more addicted to sports than the city of San Francisco is going to be saying goodbye to its FM ESPN radio station because it doesn't even make business sense anymore. If that is not a cautionary tale for everybody involved, I don't know what more you'd need. I love that they're saying, you know what, it's a better business model for us to go to all digital and our AM signal, as there's recent talk about, are they even going to put AM cars in radios anymore? Or excuse me, AM radios in cars anymore? Again, stroke. But man, I saw that and I was like, holy shit, that's kind of a big story. And it might not be big to you, but for me and Larry, ooh, I like that. So we are going to get into Club Plus, and then we are going to hop on the AMP app. It is going to be a bit abbreviated because Daddy's got to go get his teeth cleaned. So his pearly whites are looking lovely for you on that post-game Thursday night football show, which will begin tomorrow night at the 2-minute warning of the Thursday night game. And then again, I want to remind you, the total takeover of San Francisco continues 8 a.m. Friday morning, Damon Bruce Plus, Krug Show channels, simulcasting the most consumed and soon to be talked about morning after 49ers play show you're going to find anywhere. Radio stations, like I'm not even mincing words anymore. We're coming for you. And we're not just coming for you. We're going to kill you. So there you go. Have a happy and great day, everyone. Thank you very much for listening on the podcast. Keep downloading that podcast. Go ahead and click like before you go anywhere. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't you go anywhere because Club Plus is about to open. But for the rest of you, the only thing I can tell you is thanks so much for tuning in. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Ooh, disco face. Let me get this. Gotta get my black inside. Yeah. Here we go. Arizona stinks. Thank you very much, Drew Down. That's a great place to begin the chat today because you are correct about that. Scott Broyles. Thank you very much, Scott, for being in here today. Welcome. Hit like, hit subscribe, and all those good things. He says, the only thing concerning to me is Thursday weirdness. Jones running and kickoff coverage. New York is good defensive tackles too, but this is a total talent mismatch overall. Again, the only way the 49ers are beaten at home is with multiple turnovers and like an everything went wrong level performance where you're also allowing, a pick six and a special teams touchdown. I just don't think playing straight up our best versus your best that the New York Giants can even hang with the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think so. I'm noticing that the schedulers were not too kind to the Giants or the Cardinals. True blue forever. Well, look, the Giants were a playoff team, and you want to talk about an unkind schedule. It looks like the San Francisco 49ers had one there for a bit, but now that we're 2 weeks in, we're starting to see it a little bit differently. All of a sudden, it's a Cleveland Browns team that looks a lot more beatable on the road. It is a Minnesota Vikings team that looks a lot more beatable. It's a Cincinnati Bengals team that'll be coming in before the bye week that feels a lot more beatable than, the preordained Super Bowl preview that might have been. Wally Lama says, I like this chat way better. I don't know what you're comparing it to, but I like it. Thank you very much. I like that you're here too. Spending more time with Damon than my wife tomorrow night and Friday morning. All right, UC Steve. I'll love you back. Absolutely loving you back. We got Yosarian enjoying the Star Wars references. Yes, there were Star Wars references. Der Kaiser. The SF Giants are done, I swear. If Kapler has another 500 season next year, he got to go. I'm ready to say goodbye to Kapler and Farhan right now. They need a reset of just how things are done, because not only are how things done not delivering a level of success that you can really point at and say, yeah, that's working, but you're driving away customers. 1 in 4 people who used to go to Giants games don't go to Giants games anymore. And it's not because the ballpark is perfect. It's beautiful. The team that is in it is boring and unrecognizable and underperforming for years in a row now. And honestly, the choice between the two, you're telling me, so you got Gabe Kapler or Farhan. You got to get rid of one of them. Which one? I think it's Farhan. He just isn't putting a compelling product on the field. He's not developing nearly the level of compelling young players that this team needed to develop. And these are his guys in his pipeline. And it's not coming together. Chef A, Giants baseball. It's torture. Hey, remember, that used to be associated with winning a World Series around here. They would love to upgrade to torture at this point in time. Rockin' New Era 84, Verducci, dropping facts. He really did, man. He just lit into the Giants in a very non-Verducci way. Math is good. Analytics are good. Sabermetrics are good when you use the right way in the right amounts. If they are the only beats that you march to, you'll never be successful. You'll never be successful. Not the ultimate level of success, that's for sure. .107 was a fluke. It looks that way. It feels that way now. So, the Shaw says, I used to average 5 Giants games per year. I've gone to 0 this year. That says a lot. Man, I saw, what is it? Sons of Johnny LeMasters. It's a Twitter account, diehard Giants fans. And what they do is they have season tickets. And they go to about 20 games a year, and they sell the rest on SeatGeek. Well, the Giants flagged him and said, you're a ticket broker, and we revoke your season tickets. You assholes. The guy's not a season ticket broker. He's not a ticket broker. He's a fan who has to sell off some of his seats for less than face value because nobody wants him. He doesn't want to go or can't go or needs to sell some of the tickets to afford to be a season ticket holder. Like the Giants are just, they've never been bad at customer relations. They're drifting into that lane. And again, everything starts with ownership. When Larry Baer basically represented ownership, things were better than they are now. When it became the Charles Johnson's Kid Show, that's when the fun, the life got sucked out of this. That's when the humanity got sucked out of this. And, you find out that they're throwing a lot of money at Marjorie Taylor Greene and Herschel Walker. And if you want to tell me, Damon, don't get political, go fuck yourself, because those people are dreadful human beings. And if you're supporting them, you must suck massive dick. R.I.P. Cougar Rebel. That's the problem. The owners, the Johnson family sucks. They do. They do. They do. And look, I'm not picking on you. You're making it easy. You gave $500,000 to Herschel Walker. Go fuck yourself. Well, but my political interests have nothing to do. No. If you're supporting that guy, go fuck yourself. Straight up. Straight up. UC Steve, Giants manager for 2024, Buster Posey. Would Buster even want that job? I don't know if Buster wants that job. And by the way, Buster Posey, to me, has never been like Buster Posey's a really good Hall of Fame catcher. A leader, vocal leader. Again, I can't remember a single thing Buster Posey ever said that even pretended to be interesting or inspirational or anything. So I just don't feel that he's cut out for that. Baron Red says, I have way more fun on a Tuesday night at a mini bar for far less. Seriously, paying minibar prices and the hotel room is less than going to a Giants game, and you'll have more fun just sitting in there. I don't know. What do you do in a hotel room all by yourself at the minibar? What do you just masturbate to an old copy of a Good Housekeeping? I don't know. But that sounds more fun maybe than freaking going to a Giants game. So just the Giants got caught getting boring, starless, and that's how you become irrelevant. When you chase away more than 1 out of every 4 of your paying customers, you're doing it wrong. Like whatever data points you might have to show that you're doing it right, when you're losing 1 out of 4 human beings as a customer, you can't make that claim you're doing it right. Rockin' New Era 84 says, Farhan's book smart, but maybe not baseball smart. Look, he might not be people smart. Farhan, a little cool, a little detached, a little hard to reach, doesn't return calls, doesn't really respect the client or the player relationship. He doesn't foster them. I've heard a lot of things behind the scenes that he doesn't do. And acting like a normal human being is one of them. And let me tell you, Gabe Kapler, he doesn't really ping very hard on the normal person radar. So it's time. It's time to go. Burn it all down. How about that AJ Pollock trade? Yeah, how about it, Rockin' New Era 84? How about that AJ Pollock trade, right? Isn't that freaking amazing? By the way, Mike was calling me out on a few misspeaks. I'm still listening, Damon. Thank you very much, Mike. Mike Fuss. Is that your real name, Mike? Or are you just fussing? I love the album Hot Fuss by The Killers. First song on the album Hot Fuss. Jenny was a friend of mine. Damon, it's okay about the gaffes. Today is Humo Day after all, the day for gaffes. Thank you very much. Thank you to Humo Day. Again, less errors than the Giants. Irwin, smash that like button. Thank you very much. Danny G, you told us you were going to the game yesterday. Says, I was at the game last night. Major disappointment, but at least my Diamondbacks fan friend and I went to, he was happy. Well, good, Danny G. Good. I'm guessing Diamondbacks fans are happy. I don't know why. Because they're better than the San Francisco Giants. They're more entertaining than the San Francisco Giants. They are more fun to watch than the San Francisco Giants. The Giants are like watching paint dry. Wally Lama. I used to listen to Gary Radnich complain about 1960s actresses, just hoping he would even mention the 49ers. This is a lot better. Thank you very, very much. T from the 203, who is, involved in radio down in Miami, says, watch the Rangers and Knicks crawl back to WFAN. Here's the thing. So ESPN cutting off that FM signal means there's one less place to put one of their play-by-play properties, and that is going to be a little bit of a business wiggle around for all involved. But look, that's all you need to know about how important it is to own multiple radio signals these days. Billion-dollar companies that can afford to do it don't want them. FM costs more than AM that day? Apparently it does. T from the 203 is a fellow tri-stater from Connecticut. The 98.7 signal was way better than the 1050 AM signal in Connecticut. Maybe it is. Maybe it is, but I'm just telling you right now, it is no longer the world of content distribution. It's the world of content creation, and everyone, the listener, the public, you can't fool the public. I mean, look at the drop in Giants attendance. You can't fool people. You can't fool sports fans. And sports fans have been listening to these traditional spots for sports, and they're not getting what they want. But you know who is giving you what they want? People on YouTube, people who are doing it for themselves. The independent journalist is finding a voice these days, and in my case, it's a lowercase j journalist. But look, people realize that there is a bunch of bought and paid for corporate BS by lesser, harder to find, actually talented people in the places that I used to go for sports. Where'd all the talent go? Where the talent can't be afforded by these cheap as shit companies anymore. And so we're over here now. And what they're going to find, because these people in the radio business who don't realize that they're in the broadcaster's talent business have said goodbye to their broadcasting talent, and soon they're going to be saying goodbye to their own jobs because they're all going to lose them. It's real simple. In the world of radio, there's nothing more important than what's coming out of the speakers. And if what's coming out of the speakers is being done by guys who were board ops just 3 weeks ago and have been promoted because that's only the talent that can be afforded at the station, you're going to hear that. And you're hearing that everywhere. Elias Bueno saying, D. Bruce is salty. I love his takes on the Niners. Well, thank you very much, Elias. I love that you're here enjoying these takes. Odyssey stock price is at 58 cents right now. Again, the plus is not being offered on the New York Stock Exchange, but if we went public today, I guarantee we're getting more than 58 cents. I mean, just based on this beautiful coffee mug alone, right? Scott Broyles again saying, radio gonna radio. It's been a VHS rental store industry for the last 20 years. It really is. Radio and Blockbuster got a lot in common. That's a great way to look at it, Scott Broyles. You're a smart cat. Damon, what station do you have a more favored opinion of? The Plus. I like the Krug Show. I like Haberman and Middlecoff. I like Rob Stats Guerrera. I have drifted into YouTube for the content that I'm interested in more than I am on these radio stations. I think morning and afternoon drive in both places is less than what it used to be. That's all I'm going to say. Again, it's not up to me to tell you who to listen to. You know who to listen to, which is why you're here. Again, I don't think that there are two people better at talking Bay Area sports than Damon Bruce or Larry Krueger. And the fact that neither Damon Bruce nor Larry Krueger is a full-time employee of either one of the Bay Area's sports talk radio stations is really all you need to know about them, isn't it? Isn't it? It's amazing. What do we got here? Newbies? My man Damon doing it his way. Thank you, newbies. It's fun doing it this way, too. Let me tell you, I do enjoy the freedom that comes over here that isn't involved over there. I'm going to tell you right now, let's say I had been an afternoon drive today on KNBR. I'm sure I would have gotten some feedback on the Fuck Charles Johnson segment. But look at it this way. Over here, they don't even have my number, so I'm not paying attention. Sporticus says, ESPN used to employ people who knew sports before they became Disneyfied. It's become the very thing that we use sports to escape from. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's that radical, but what it is all forgettable. There's no real true talent. And I saw that, some bullshit quote from Jimmy Pitaro or whoever's running ESPN these days. And it was basically like, quality journalism has never meant more to ESPN than it does right now. Yeah, no, calling bullshit because you keep on firing all your quality journalists. I mean, you can't fool everyone. You can't keep slashing the budget and pretending, everything's getting better around here. No, you've gone about a process to make sure everything's worse. Everyone is trying to get more out of less. There you go. Everyone's trying to get more out of less, and people who've been consuming it for years in a row just know this ain't what it needs to be. Damon, you got to get those teeth squeaky clean and white for when you're on TV. Well, when's that going to be? I don't know if that's going to be anytime soon. I'll go say hi to Sal Castaneda or Gianna if they need me to, but Damon, your coffee stains from the sip of the day are real. You got to keep those pearly whites sparkling. Again, I've always had a little bit of, I don't want to say I have yellow teeth, but you know what I used to do pre-stroke? I used to dip. I used to dip Skull. I still miss it too, by the way. I never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I used chewing tobacco. And I used to dip Skull. I'd love a Skull mint. I'd love a wintergreen. I'd even like the cherry. It's the only flavor I would dip into. And then I was starting to do Kodiak. And at that point, if you're like, Kodiak is moving from cocaine to heroin. Like once you start dipping Kodiak, now you're just trying to put nicotine right in your bloodstream. And again, El Stroco Loco, I haven't had a dip since I was able to quit cold turkey. But I do miss it. I really do. If you said, Damon, we can offer you a stroke-free, no need to worry about it ever dip right now, I would put that whole tin. I would pack the upper deck, the lower deck, the upper deck. Oh, man. I wish I could have a chew. No chewing anymore for Damon. And I think that did yellow up the bottom teeth just a little bit. So we got to go keep these things nice. One or 11B, Danny, or is that 118? I don't know. Maybe it's an apartment number, but I don't know. Danny, love you. Love you right back. Thank you so very much. The Skills Report. $3.19, baby. Thank you very much, Skills. What I hung with Tupac and SVU's Benson. Here's some cash. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Good to see you, Skills. All right, there's some AJ Pollock hate that we can just roll through. No need to bury that guy. Elias says, you think BA is playing? Ronnie Bell could fill. Only risk is they missed. Yeah, here's the thing. I think look, Ayuk is playing until he's announced he's not playing. I think he's going to play. Maybe they want to give him a short week off, but I think Ayuk's playing. And if he's not playing, I still like the 49ers minus the 10. T from the 203, he says, Damon, as a West Coaster, did you like the double Monday Night Football games? It's odd there's no West Coast game in that doubleheader. I thought the same thing. I didn't like the double up Monday Night Football because I think it takes the special out of Monday Night Football, which is the spotlight is only on one game, and you really get to concentrate on one game, two teams. And if they're teams you're unfamiliar with, you really get to know a couple of teams that you might not get to see. With a flip back, you're too many places at once. I mean, sometimes being able to focus on something is nice. Mike Fuss says, how about this? All politicians are horrible human beings. Absolutely not, Mike. There's a big difference between a lot of our politicians these days who clearly check the box of horrible human being and a few others who clearly don't. So stop trying to lump them all in together to make it an easy talking point. Let's not pretend that there are some serious manipulative fuckery that's going on out there. Come on, man. Stop it. Damon, what's worse? Ricketts family or the Johnson family? How about this? Fuck them both. But at least the Ricketts are heading towards the playoffs again, right? Even though they ruined Wrigley Field. All right. So look, shout out Humo Day. Indeed. Mike's last name is Mike Fusselman. Thank you. Thank you very much. Damon, don't fall over picking up the Blacken sign. Did it look like I was about to fall over? I was in control the entire time. But thank you, Chef A. Thank you for being concerned. We have David Ryder, who says, one of you sports talk guys a few years ago said it's a lot easier to talk about a team with a winning record or a losing record than it is a 500 team. Absolutely, man. Give me something that's great because that inspires people, or give me something that stinks because people want to talk about that. A 500 team inspires no one. You know, you're just good enough to avoid real criticism, but you're not good enough to really get a grand pat on the back. So, all right. Like I said, I got to go get the choppers cleaned. Let me go over here and let me look. Odyssey is a penny stock. Certainly is. Yeah, Kim Schaefer, Radio Lifer. She said 58 cents. Yeah, that's surely pleasing all the stockholders. Yeah, they've lost their shirts. Everyone involved should be not just fired, they should be executed. Again, to think that I was the problem, like how were I or Ray Ratto with our #1 rated radio show preventing you from doing business? Or was it your dipshit salespeople who are used car salesman flunkies and a bunch of 24-hour gym rejects? You know, I mean, it's just it's look at it this way. Let's say you're a salesperson in San Francisco. You can sell anything, and you choose to sell radio. I got a nickel that says you didn't go to Stanford. I mean, it's crazy. Danny G says, you know, it is cool how the KNBR signal comes in here in Arizona at night, even though I usually just stream everything. Listen to FP on my car radio last night. Look, KNBR, I'm always going to be in love with those calls, those call letters. It's a great traditional powerhouse signal, and KNBR was satellite radio before satellite radio was even invented. You get KNBR on a clear night in Wyoming. It was awesome. I loved hosting Sports Phone. But you know what also comes in clear as a bell, Danny G? YouTube. It comes in clear as a bell anywhere. Like, let's say you were in Sri Lanka and you wanted to watch today's show. My show is available in Sri Lanka. KNBR is not. Irwin says, I like Jack Hammer as well. Not exactly an entertainer, but he gives you the facts. You know what? I agree with you. Jack Hammer is good. I like Jack Hammer too. Michael Chan, thank you. Damon is the new blowtorch. Well, we're blowing something, that's for sure. All right. All right. I think that's it. But there we go. Little memory lane. I used to listen to Damon on Sports Phone back in 2007 when I was 10 with my mom at nights in Arizona. We moved to the Bay in 2004. Again, that just shows you how bad radio is. Hey, even though this guy's been talking to diehard Bay Area sports fans since they were 10 years old, let's get rid of him. That's just amazing to me. Ooh, Grizzly Wintergreen. Yep. Kodiak, exactly. T from the 203, Once you move to Kodiak, you're basically just mainlining heroin. Yeah, you know what? When I was trying to get off, David said I used to dip. I helped. I quit with the help of sunflower seeds. Yeah, I would use David's was a go-to as well. You know who used to keep me dripping in sunflower seeds was Elena Bouton Vixen. She liked the Spitz brands, Spitz sunflower seeds. Yeah, no smoking for me. Unless it's a level of put it in the air, in which case, yeah, I'll smoke that. Seriously, so I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. It's 72 hours after the stroke. I'm just getting movement returning to the left side of my body. And they have these people who come in and check on your mental health and do you have any questions? My question was, can I still smoke weed? And they're like, yeah, but probably, you shouldn't be ripping big bongs anymore. I'm like, okay. That was it. Here I'm laying in bed with a stroke. My first question to the doctor was, can I still smoke weed? And if that ain't keeping it real, I don't know what is. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do. I love you. This crazy, goofy little community that we got going on. It is a pleasure hanging out with you all morning long. And we're going to go over, and I got some good bluesy music for you on the AMP app. I can already see people walking into the AMP room. We're going to have a little fun over there. And then I'm going to go get my teeth cleaned. What a day. Big day for the Bruces. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Love you all so much. I want to remind you, Post-game and Damon starts at the 2-minute warning, Thursday Night Football. Larry and I are going to be right at it at 8 a.m. for 49ers Wake Up, taking over the entire Bay Area sports market. And Kruger is in for Plus Mania 2 Electric Boogaloo at Victory Hall, November 5th. It's the bye week, and we will get you more details as we get even closer to that. I think there's going to be a Plus event at the Guardsman Tree Lot around a Monday Night Football game, and I'll give you details on that as well. We're going to be doing several shows from the Guardsman Tree Lot. Because that's as San Francisco as it gets, and it's something near and dear to my heart, and I hope to even see you down there. We're going to sell you a Christmas tree this year, too. So that's it. Thank you very much. We're going to be going over to the AMP app in just a minute here, but I need to let you know that if you are hanging out here, I appreciate you. And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.